Wild Reviewer, and welcome back to 25 Wild Christmas Review Days, Day 3. I'll be your host, The Wild Review. I already said my title. It's time to talk about Rankin Bass Productions! If you have no idea who Rankin Bass Productions are, you're not human. Rankin Bass was a company that created majority of stop-motion holiday specials. I say was because they are unfortunately shut down, they're no longer in business, but majority of their products are lasting a lifetime. I've discussed Rankin Bass Productions a long time ago when I first started the Wild Review because I did a little video on one of their Easter stop-motion specials, The Easter Bunny is Coming to Town. And as I look back on it, I think I was a bit more harsh on it than I should have been because it is a children's stop-motion holiday special. They were all jokes, folks. I'm just letting you know. I've changed. But Rankin Bass is most known for its holiday specials, specifically its Christmas specials. And their list of Christmas specials is a very long list. Well, I wouldn't say that long, like this long list of videos that I'm going to be doing for this little series, but they definitely have a good amount of Christmas specials that if I talked about each one of them, it would take up a good probably like, I don't know, 10, 16 days. But because we have such a small amount of time here, because I only have until Christmas Day to touch upon a lot of different Christmas films, I'm only going to be discussing 3 of their most popular stop-motion Christmas specials. Today, I will be touching upon one of them called A Year Without a Santa Claus. Released in 1974, this 50-minute stop-motion Christmas special focuses on Santa Claus coming down with a bad cold and making the decision to take a vacation from Christmas that year. However, his wife, Mrs. Claus, doesn't think that taking a break from Christmas is such a good idea, seeing that so many people rely on Santa. So she sends out 2 of his elves, Jingle and Jangle, to go out into the world and spread the Christmas message to get St. Nick to come back to his job for that year, even though he's not feeling very well. However, when coming across a small town called Southtown, USA, Jingle and Jangle discover that everyone in that town is totally out of the Christmas spirit. In fact, many of them don't even believe in Santa Claus, including the kids. It never snows, there's no Christmas decorations anywhere. So now Mrs. Claus, Jingle, Jangle, and one of the kids named Ingus have to do everything they can to make it snow in Southtown and bring the Christmas spirit to that little town to encourage Santa to go back to his job and not let everybody down. All my life, this is the one Rankin Bass special that I have basically grown up with. Occasionally, I would tune in to see very little pieces of it. I wasn't that much of a fan of it, but without going into my family life, I will say that one of my family members enjoys watching this movie every year, specifically because of Heat Miser and Cold Miser, who are 2 characters in this film. Cold Miser being the guy that controls everything cold, and Heat Miser being the guy that controls everything hot, obviously. This family member of mine absolutely adores this scene with their musical numbers. It's played every year. They always seem to find it on TV, and even if they don't watch the whole thing, they always watch that one part. And that's the one thing that I remember right off the bat of this special. The rest of the special entirely, I don't have that many memories of it. I definitely watched the whole thing when I was a kid because rewatching it for this, I remember seeing many of these little frames because when rewatching this, I got some nostalgic feel from watching a certain scene, so I definitely knew I saw it in full when I was a kid. I just don't have that great of memory of it. Again, I would come back to it occasionally, not just to watch the one scene with my family member that they like, but I would catch the ending at sometimes. I would be scrolling through the channels and I would maybe see like 5 minutes of it and then switch the channel again to see what else was on. So it's not a special that I would entirely say I am obsessed with, that I make sure to watch every year. But when watching it in full this time around, I definitely enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I'm entirely in love with it. I just think it was pretty cool. It was a cute little special, and I appreciate that they're sticking to the continuity in the whole Rankin Bass universe. Can we call it that? Because, can we? So in a way, this can kind of be considered as a sequel to another film I will be discussing in 2 days called Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Not only because it has the same voice actor for Santa, but also because everything about this film just seems to be like a continuation from what we're going to see in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is another film that I have heavily seen as a child. I don't watch it that much anymore nowadays. Of course, I will be watching it again, though, to talk about it in the next couple of days. But this short can be considered as a sequel to it. I'm talking about the sequel before the actual one. Yeah, that seems like me. I haven't seen many of the Marvel films. I'm watching them out of order. So, yeah, that seems about right. Overall, everything about Year Without a Santa Claus there's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, again, we're talking about something that came out in the 70s, so of course it's going to come off a bit cheesy. Of course it's going to come off a bit strange. The animation and the way the stop motion was, it's not going to seem exactly perfect, but for the time that it came out, this was probably high-tech stuff. Stop motion for this company was the one thing that it had going for them, and it's obviously paid off because this, along with a bunch of other stuff that came out of this company, are now considered holiday classics, so good on them. The songs were pretty cool. Some of them were kind of downers, like Blue Christmas was definitely, obviously it has to be because it's a sad song, but a lot of the films were like, they kind of fit for like soothing songs for the holiday, I guess. The one song with Santa and Angus, right? That's his name, Angus's family. They're singing about believing in Santa. That's a nice low-tone song that has a nice harmony to it. The way it was put together with claymation, I like claymation stuff. So, you know, for something that came out in the 70s, it's not that bad. They do a really good job, this company, of doing stop-motion stuff. And that's really everything else I gotta say about it. Jingle and Jangle, I mean, they were funny-ish. I get they were probably supposed to be like the goofball characters of the movie. They didn't really come off like that to me. That's what I'm assuming they were supposed to be, just like the goofball elves that are going to help out in the story. But they were okay. That's really everything I gotta say about it. There's nothing else I could say other than I thought it was pretty cool. So with that said, that was A Year Without a Santa Claus, and that's it for day 3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I want to know what you think. Have you ever seen Year Without a Santa Claus? Is this one of your holiday classics that you watch? Because they still play it on TV, which is pretty cool. I want to know all your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching another edition of 25 Wild Christmas Review Days. Come back tomorrow because we'll be talking about another Rankin Bass special, this time one that I have not seen before. This will be my first time watching it in full. And a lot of you will probably not believe that I've never seen this before, considering I'm 19 years old. Thank you for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing.